Alright, so now we're finally into the last section of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. We have the calm before the storm here with the Sky Chase Zone. As Sonic flies the tornado around and we're just jumping on stuff. You're not going to be a flawless round necessarily, but you have enemies on turtles, sort of evocative of Mario villains here. The turtles will shoot and will hit if you're not careful. But mostly things are avoidable in this level. It is the only scrolling level, which I guess in a way is evocative of Bridge Zone from the Game Gear version of Sonic 1. But Sky Chase Zone, for all the title of chase, I think it's just kind of a nice little level here. Now, when I was playing through Sonic 2 the first time, this is where I kind of lost interest because I was Tails in that version, and of course, Sonic was the guy on the plane, Tails was the one flying the plane, and there was nothing for me to do here, and that didn't change. Yep, there I got fooled by the cameo by the fortress. I was thinking we were about to land on the fortress, and we still have a little ways to go. But the point being is that when you get to this point in the game and you're playing two-player or one person as Tails, this is where they basically check out, because from here to the end of the game, Sonic 2 is a one-player experience. And here's Wing Fortress Zone. So we're approaching the fortress, we're being fired at, and yeah, I was supposed to jump there. Didn't exactly do that. Wing Fortress Zone has some of the nicest music, I think, in the Sonic 2 soundtrack. Giving you the sense that something is going on, you're doing something big. And you kind of get that flow through it. Those chickens are new in their little turrets. You'll see them here, and well, since this is the last level of the game, really nowhere else. Okay, other things. You have to maneuver your way past the engines on the bottom of the Wing Fortress. And that's not as easy as I'm making it look here. Again, this is spliced together footage. There were a lot of times that Tails did not want to grab onto the handle, and then he sort of just fell to his death. So so again, we're avoiding, and now that we've gotten past the bottom engines, we have to work our way back up the fortress. And so the propellers, obviously you don't want to walk through those. So there's another chicken sighting. Not sure what Robotnik's theory behind metallic chickens was. They also appeared in the Sonic cartoons of the 1990s. And then the fortress has its platforming segments. This one's not so bad. There is a later one involving disappearing platforms that drove me absolutely crazy. If you notice, I ignore the special stage thing because there's not really a point for me to go get it. And I also have 84 rings. And if I go in the special stage thing, I'll lose all my rings, as the cost of doing business in the special stage. And so there we get our 107th ring, so over 100 rings, we get that life back that we lost when we just sort of decided not to jump on the fortress at the beginning of the level. And then we run into another thing that this level likes to do, and that is it has these little launchers. Not really sure how to describe those things. They kind of remind me of the launchers on the side of the Fortress Maximus toy from the Transformers G1 cartoon. In that, you use them to send a smaller object forward without a lot of cooperation from that object. And so then we're going back across the fortress, trying to get some more rings. That's how you determine how you want to go across. And then this leads up to the part where I got stuck the most. Now, way back in 1992, when my friend and I were playing through Sonic 2, and again, at this point, there wasn't really anything I could do. He got lost a lot in Wing Fortress Zone. This is where we basically called it quits. So no, we didn't beat the game because we couldn't figure out how to get through the fortress. But, there's some platform jumping. You can see that the fortress has some airship qualities, and now we're down into what will become the boss fight. This is another place I got stuck for a long time. So Eggman's over there, and he's got a laser that he's going to shoot at us. Now our job is to hit the laser a few times. I don't think you need to hit it as many as you hit a normal Eggman boss. But the problem, of course, is that you need to rely on these floating platforms to get there. Yet these floating platforms are also the thing that that can hurt you because they have spikes rotating on the bottom. So you need to, keep track of your rings. And now I'm going to try to do this without any rings. I think that was about the 5th hit instead of like the normal 8. And so that forces Eggman to run. There's a little bonus extra life for us. So Tails, although a fox, could be a cat. And we watch the rocket fly off, and there's nothing we can... Oh, wait, hey, Sonic. Take it back. There is something we can do. Sonic is going to fly us up to the rocket. And amazingly, the biplane catches up with the rocket, and then you hold on for dear life. Not only do you hold on for dear life, but Robotnik takes you into space. Without a spacesuit, this should not work. Fortunately, you get to Robotnik's space station, the Death Egg. Totally not a Star Wars ripoff. And then he pits you against Silver Sonic. Now, Silver Sonic has a couple of patterns that he uses to attack you, and you also have to be careful with how you hit Silver Sonic. You have to hit him right on his forehead. If you hit him on top of his head, you'll die because you have no rings. If you hit him on his spikes, obviously you'll die. So you just got to be patient. But he has the spinning thing where he goes across, he'll chase you in his own body form, and he'll do the thing where he jumps through the air and shoots projectiles. So we hit him one last time. And then we're in a scene not dissimilar from Sonic 1, except this time, Dr. Robotnik runs to the Death Egg robot. Now, I played Sonic 4 Episode 1 to completion before I played this game. Not right next to each other, okay? It's been a few months or something. But, you know, so I was sort of ready for the Death Egg, and the Death Egg robot here in Sonic 2 has some of the same patterns that it does in Sonic 4 Episode 1, except it doesn't fly around, or its flying pattern is a little bit different. It doesn't do the crazy suicide thing. And you know, you have to be careful how you hit it. Got to hit it right in the belly without getting hit by the fingers. The fingers will kill you right away. You don't have any rings, which I guess is one advantage to the way that they do this fight in Sonic 4, because in Sonic 4, you actually get rings for this fight, although the robot does a few more sophisticated things than it does here. And so, after you hit the robot enough times, you zoom out of the space station into space, because clearly you can survive that. And then you start descending down. And you're about to see another violation of the laws of physics here, because Sonic is going to catch you with his plane, which really should screw you up and the plane up. But this is a video game. And Tails is probably a little bit more aerodynamic than Sonic is in this scene, just because, you know, he could, in theory, slow his descent down with his using his tails. Although Tails flying won't be a thing until the next game. And this is where the Sonic 2 closing theme is. I had not seen the end of Sonic 2, you know, in 24 years. We didn't get to the... my friend and I never beat it. So that was the first time I'd ever beaten the game right there. And so the song Sweet Dreams, which closes the Sonic 2 game before the credits, I didn't realize that was a thing. And I actually saw a few playthroughs of Sonic 06 before I completed Sonic 2, or saw the end of Sonic 2 in a video. And at the end of Sonic 06, there's a vocal version that they did of Sweet Dreams. And I thought that the song was original to that game, but I was really surprised then to find that it was actually just a redone vocal version of this theme here at the end of Sonic 2. So this one was kind of more important to me than perhaps Sonic 1 or Sonic 1 Game Gear, because, you know, this was something from my childhood never beaten, and now I have. And so, you know, I think this one has more resonance for me. You know, you can see some of the things that they've improved upon from Sonic 1. I mean, you can see some of the mechanics they changed. You can see they started throwing enemies at you from Sonic 1 that were harder earlier, and eventually brought in new enemies, you know, at the end of Metropolis Zone that were more difficult anyway. But, you know, I still haven't figured out how to beat the whole special stage problem. And, you know, I'm not sure we're ever going to do that, because the next game on the docket is 1993's Sonic Chaos, for the Game Gear. And since we were Sonic for 2 games, we're going to be Tails for 2 games. And to set up our return for using Sonic in Sonic 3, we're going to play as Tails through Sonic Chaos. And from what I understand, we won't need the emeralds there either. But that's for the next time. So I'll see you then.